Eternal Fire'ın maçı var. Geçen bayağı zevkliydi ama. La bu ne ya? Neye tıkladım? Oğlum vay be, nereden nereye geldi ya şu e-spor olayı? Önceden e-sporda böyle janti giyinen adamlar, ne bileyim işte şık gözüken kadınlar, bunları görmek mümkün değildi la sanki. Çok eskiden bahsediyorum ama 2010'lar falan. 2010 yaklaşık 14 sene önce abi. Biz 2040'a 2010'dan daha yakınız abi. Değil mi? Yani daha yakın olmasak da neredeyse aynı. 2010 daha yakın da hesap etmeden giriştik, göt olduk ya, hoş olmadı yani. Mr. Sarımsak eyvallah, Piyonist Kun ya, anladınız ama abi. Aa, kaşları boyamış la. Arkadaşlar mouse hala iyi mi? Bebelerin tiplere bak la. Oğlum bu bebelere yenilmeyin la. Ses mi yok? Verilir abi. Ayıba düşüyorsunuz ya. Ayıba yuvarlanıyorsunuz oğlum. Siz isterseniz de vermeyeceğiz mi lan? He? Siz isterseniz de vermeyeceğiz mi lan? Arkadaşlar yayınlarıma deal atın. Buna deal atmak zorundasınız. Böyle özel bir gün olmadığı sürece, işte korku gecesi, bet gecesi vesaire gibi gün olmadığı sürece yayınların gece kısmına CS koyulur aga. Beşli ekip toplanır ve girilir. Ne bağırıyorsunuz lan? Sizin ateş olsanız cürmünüz kadar yer yakarsınız lan. Denyolara bak. Hasbinallah ya. Samis teşekkür ediyorum yavrum. Eyvallah. Arkadaşlar 2K yayın başı kişi başına 2K sadakat puanı basarak aylık 12 saat yayın hedefini doldurabilirsiniz. 10.000 abonede de 12 saat yayın veriyorum. Haberiniz olsun. Haftaya Perşembe İstanbul'a gidiş var. Gitmeden bir 10.000 olalım. Gitmeden de bir 12'yi çakayım abi ben size ya. Güllem öyle milyon, eyvallah, teşekkür ediyorum yavrum, sağ olun. Bet açıldı mı? Yok be oğlum, bet döndürmeyek la. Döndürek mi? Tanıdık isim var mı bunlarda eskilerden?
Online, of course, the qualifier for the RMR.
That's great.
Yeah, you hate that, don't you?
Bugünkü ortama baksana. VK'dan video geldi abi.
Rightfully so says I don't really care about online once we get to LAN.
Yeah, exactly. I take it with not even a pinch of salt. I just literally.
Bura nere lan? İstanbul mu? Oğlum çok iyi. Devlet tiyatrosunda Eternal Fire maçı izliyorlar. Ortam çok iyiymiş. Yok mu oğlum, futbol taraftarına dönme değil. Bu işler hep böyleydi bu arada. Onu ayıklayayım. Map seçimlerini falan şimdilik başlamıyorum. Bakmıyorum. Abi ben bu ortamı en son Dota International 2'de falan görmüştüm ya. Dota 2 International 2012 Audience desek. Onlar da öyleydi ya. Audience miydi? Eski bir ruhu anımsattı bana ya. Bak bunlar da tiyatroda izliyor, daha büyük.
Who leads the way? I believe it should be Zoe. They're gonna cut for the shorter path. They storm up the river. Patience from Zoe. Waiting in the wings. Navi is about to be caught. Oh!
Gerçi lol mol bu arada bu an efsane bu arada. Zaten deep play diye geçiyor Dota'da bu. LoL falan zaten bunları yapıyor değil mi? Galiba benim bildiğim kadarıyla. Yani e-spor camiasında o ruhu yaşattılar yani. Yaşamadık değil biz bunu.
There's the sleep, the surge, he catches everyone! Oh, this could be a total disaster! Vacuum in! Ravage on everyone! The black hole as well! Light of heaven turns it around! Ravage as well! Stolen by Deadly! Are you kidding me? They turn it around! 4 heroes dead for
5 heroes dead! Chuan trying to survive! Chuan's gonna go down! Puppy talked about the Naga counter! It's Light of Heaven with his BKB! They turn...
Bu ortam gibi hissettirdi Eternal Fire. Ukraynalılar Çinlilere makattan giriş yapıyor. Maç başladı mı? Harbi
Talk
lan.
about Mouz on
Okay,
Vertigo,
izliyoruz.
shall we? A recent win over Eternal Fire within
dakika
this,
canlı.
and then
Hayır,
of course
hayır.
that win over
Bir dakika başlığı falan düzenliyorum.
Spirit. Yeah, that's right. That
Spirit.
happened. Spirit falling to Mouz at the RMR on the road to this one. The stakes are high. The hearts are pounding, and the counter-strike is well and truly underway here in Copenhagen. Top 16.
Ooh.
Very quiet
He's going to
pistol.
back up right into the shot. Ooh, okay. Yimpy stays alive.
Şey falan var değil mi lan?
Keeps his head down.
Ses falan var
Torzy
değil mi?
toying with the thought of a ramp peak. It's two sets of Berettas on the ramp, plus Brolin to hold back and make contact with his USP.
Bakalım kime kitleneceğim bu maç rakipten.
Solo B setup. A ramp gets held onto.
Yorum yok.
Flush them
Yeni
forward
başladık. Yorum yok.
into Yimfat. He takes a shot to the face. Not ideal.
Ayar
Off
iyi
the
verdi la
teammate's
dalgayı,
flash.
helal.
Tries to go back in. But now next CT up is pinned behind green. Santares
Oğlum
can't
bura
quite
T
connect
map'i lan
it.
galiba.
But at least that opening
hala
should have afforded the
anlamaya
bomb to cross
çalışıyorum bu
over.
map'i de.
But no plant just yet. And Mouz are
Galix'ten
keeping the
kill
pressure on.
gelmiş.
Zershin tries to get on the bottom of it. Brolin connecting. T's flushed forward because of that pressure from behind. Zershin didn't have to make his play already.
Galik
But
formunda
he
la.
decided to.
Galik
And we
şeyde ne
get the challenge
yaptı?
over top of construction. We get the close
Vitality'de ne
T on
yaptı?
green. Shuhei. Oh man.
The other side of Jen's not being held so major is just holding this, hoping. But they might have forgotten anyone could be this close. They
Ne
saw him
John
peel
Wick
back a little
sahnesi mi?
bit. Peek
Oga.
comes out, and he doesn't move.
Man, Major is just locking this one in.
This is going to be on Brolin.
Baba
I
büyük
think, to clear it. I
tecrübe
don't
abi
think Shuhei's
hareket
thinking about it.
etmiyor.
There it is.
Ne oldu?
Oh,
Gali'ye
Calix.
bak la.
He's got both.
4 kills in the round from Calix. He is the guy who gets Jimfat. He is the guy who gets the jump up from Zershin on the flank.
Yeah, that's Exertion came up. I mean, they decided to play with pressure
Bilmeyenler
that whole
Eternal
round,
Fire
so they
Türk
really
takımı
participated in
arkadaşlar.
this duel.
Mouz da yani
I would say
Mouz
this is
abi.
actually pretty well played round from both
The
teams
Mouz.
because there are a lot of layers to what Mouz were doing,
Ben
how they were
CS2'yi
executing
beğendim
it.
chat
Oh
lan.
my god, and it honestly came down to hard
Oynadım
shots.
falan da bayağı hoşuma gitti
Wow,
yani
that was a
oynamamıştım.
crazy next kill, man. Now, there was a point in time where Calix was the player in Turkey to watch, but now that we've got this team all together and Wakadia as the youngest piece has come
Daha
in, it's
erken
really
çekiliyor
rounded us
galiba
line up in a beautiful way.
CS'de. Nice. Baba temizle
catch
orayı.
block
Galik
from
ya,
Calix.
Galik ya. Galik
He
ya.
hangs on
Galik.
with the AK.
Ama yardım edin
Toppling
adama.
free. Looking like the only
Yardım
casualty that
edin.
Eternal Fire will have
Keleş
to deal
gitti.
with.
That's
So,
an AK, actually.
Eternal Fire off to a strong start.
Yeah, so I mean, they probably both knew that Vertigo was going to end up being the last map, and obviously Eternal Fire, last time they played, this is the one map that they couldn't win. Torzy on full bullets, 4 bullets, obviously is going to be hunted down. Ooh, all 4 bullets land.
Ha,
That's not a
keleşle mi
bad second
kaçacaktın
kill.
sen?
So for a round where you don't have much
Keleşi
to
alıp
work with,
kaçacak mıydın sen?
couldn't ask for much more.
Of course, when we talk about the last
Zanteres'in
time they
saç tıraşı
did
güzel
meet, right,
olmuş
that
lan.
was the closed qualifier B on the run to the major, but as Moses
Bunların
kind of got the
beyazlığına
wires crossed,
ırkçılık
that was the
yapabilir
one that
miyiz?
was
Biraz
online. Now,
fazla
the Spirit
beyazlar.
result, right? Spirit result more recent and on LAN. We legitimized that.
Yeah.
And their head-to-head, yes, Mouz fall in the series. Like you just mentioned, this map
Benim
was in
beyaz
Mouz's back
pesim yok
pocket.
mu oğlum? Ben beyazım.
So one of the storylines in every major is, how much do the challengers team power up versus the teams that just hop into legends? And while this, okay, hold on. Great opening kill here
Direkt
from
açtılar
Torzy.
ama kardeş.
Quick to it.
And wasn't timid for a moment, and he'll also catch Wakadia
Ama abi, benim
trying to get up into the
kurulduğum
same
eleman
position.
belli
So
oldu.
guns make a world of
Torzy.
difference for Mouz. Immediate 5 versus 3, and a pretty consistent 3-player setup on the ramp, looking for these fights from the pistol until now. Early A,
Ana
which our
bacı
analysts
yapacağım, mübarek
alluded to,
aydayız
could
be.
end up being Zantares' playground. For now, is the defensive hold.
Yeah, and keeping the smokes
Ortada
open is
olsun. Get
awesome.
your
I mean,
shit together.
obviously, even throwing your own smoke and keeping those smokes open is
Ne
a
oluyor?
really effective strategy. Some damage done
Şerefsiz.
here from Brolin. You can tell they would love to hang around a little bit
Eli
more. if it
vermeyiz
means
değil mi
they
abi?
can keep the information, but eventually Eternal Fire will win
Dönüyorlar
some
la.
space back at
Döndük
the minimum.
sanıyorlar la.
But it's at this point of the
Döndük
round, they are
sanıyorlar la.
totally fine to play much more passive positions.
Ali'ye bak.
However, no full push down B. Eternal Fire don't seem worried
Bakıyor ama
about it
hala
either.
abi. Bakıyor hala abi. Tepeye boostladılar çocuğu. Bak o çocuk tehlikeli bak.
Calix, the star of the pistol,
O
still
çocuk
up.
tehlikeli bak. O
cap
çocuk
on that,
tehlikeli bak. Tepede bak. O nereye gidiyor o moller?
Zantares is going to punish. Able to
Helal la
just
çok iyi.
crawl along the side of the wall, no contest. It's
Şerefsiz.
Divo. Brolin with the double kill hold.
Insane on A.
Sus lan.
Insane
Let's fucking go.
on A
Give
indeed.
them no fucking space, okay?
Yeah,
Gonna
bro-
fucking smack them.
Ne diyor
We got
lan?
some good energy out
Ne
of Torji.
diyor? Ezin onları
And,
diyor. Nefes
Brolin's
aldırmayın
obviously
diyor.
just the fifth piece of the puzzle. There's something weird about it.
Kim lo
And
eleman?
honestly, it doesn't
Borzi.
have anything to do with really the
Senin
gameplay
ananı var
or
ya.
like type of player or the place that he's coming from. But
Tamam abi,
Brolin
bugün
just
kimden
looks right, and
stresi
that was
çıkarıyorum
very-
belli
I feel
oldu.
like that's the feeling got like sort of as soon as he
Belli
debuted with the
oldu
team. It doesn't make sense necessarily that he's replacing someone like Frozen.
Borzi
Yeah, it's
bizden
working. I
Macar.
think that's credit
Yok
to
o
Shuhei for
zamanında
integrating him
işte
very well.
Hristiyanlaşıp Türklüğünü unutmuşlardan.
Oh,
Gördüğü var.
Okay, that twice though pay
Türk
the
dalgasını
piper.
nasıl alıyor?
Zanteres
Benim
instant
milliyetçilik
headshot.
şaka
Ready
mı?
for it this time around.
Danteres
And,
bir
Torzi's
yedi
hype
ağzına
in the last
oturdu.
round is very quickly
Onlara
cooled
nefes
off.
aldırmayın.
Yeah, they didn't know how
Onlara
excited he
nefes
was, but that's like
aldırmayın.
the perfect guy to kill in a situation like that.
Although what he said to his teammates was give them no
Oh, that
space.
flash is beautiful.
And
Nice.
well, Eternal Fire will come back at that ramp looking for vengeance. They find it with the 2 kills. And a comfortable looking
Ayara verdi.
5v3
Niye verdi
here
la
for Eternal
silahlarını? Ha,
Fire.
canı
Shuhei
yok
still
diye
sits around, and he on an individual level
Canları
has been
göremiyorsunuz
playing
değil mi
some great CS. One of the driving forces in their victory over Team Spirit, but right now, what was considered that solid A play, that of which got Mouz hyped, has come to a quick end in round 4.
And they'll pause on the ramp, but
Bu
this
bobinin
time from a
sonunda
place of
ne
power. They've
elde
got
ediyoruz
the player
arkadaşlar?
advantage, and they know that Mouz
Main
are
event'e
already
çıkmayı mı ya da main event'te miyiz
letting
şu
the
an tam
incessant
olarak?
thought
Ben
of saving
schedule'ı bilmiyorum.
seep into their minds.
Now, I know what you were just bringing up, speaking of, Brolin's inclusion for Mouz, and if we look at kind of the trajectory of his career, right, he's this young Swedish prodigy that
Mesle,
gets to
canım hoş
play with
geldin,
what was
eyvallah.
at the time the
Ha,
best
şu an main
Swedish players
event'teyiz zaten.
in order to all elevate and come together, right? What we
2-0
have
oluyor,
now
3
for the
yapan
first
üste
time in his
çıkıyor.
career
Okay.
is playing alongside 4 other young, upcoming players who, as far
Bu
as
map'te
in the
bomba
server
öğrenmek
goes,
kolay mı
don't
la
have that legend or
Baba, Vikatya ne yapacak?
experience to point to, right?
Yes.
These are players that were
13
all
canla
on their
baba
journey
düşürdü
together
abi.
as young
İşte şu
men.
şekil
And
katma
with
değeri olan
Shuhei and
oyuncun
Mouz
olacak
NXT
aga.
Okay,
took over from a young point. There was no prodigy within them. They are just, they are bit by bit, piece by piece, using the We Play Academy League system to gain LAN experience. And from the get-go, they were a group of
Kolay.
professionals.
CS'de
That
zaten
is what
galiba
always,
kolay değil mi arkadaşlar
made
bombaları
Mouz stand
öğrenmek?
apart for me.
Our
Ben hiç
experience with
bomba öğrenmedim
Mouz,
abi.
NXT, and Shuhei's lineup there with,
Şu CS'de bir
exertion,
yalamak istiyorum şu
Torji,
CS'yi ya.
and the whole former
1-6'da
lineup was that
kaldık
they were
ama.
just so much more mature on average than all the other teams that were that young and playing
Ya
in the
ama
academy
olmaz
league.
çocuklar.
And they won so much as well. Yeah, that's a beautiful spray down. It's exit frags, but he
La
keeps his
bebeğin
gun
bıyıklar
and knocks
sarılıktan
down a
gözükmüyor
lot of
çocuklar.
money here for his opponents.
Even when speaking of ex-Mouz players in JDC, right? I think if you go and watch Big's interviews with JDC nowadays, you just see how well-spoken he is, how professional he comes across, and he just has that, professional mantra about him as a player. And it's a testament to what that group has had forever.
Helal
And now
ya.
Brolin gets to kind of throw himself into a ragtag gang of younger men who have results we can point at. For
Necati
him to
hoş
be,
geldin yavrum.
proud of. He hasn't posted them with them yet, but it just feels like the right
Çok-
fit.
çok
If you were to tell
ses
me
etme,
Brolin was always an
sponsorluk mu
NXT
gelir,
player, that
Mouse'dan
he came
mı?
up with them on the same trajectory, I could believe it.
Abi Eternal
Yeah, it's the
Fire'ın
same
maçını
story though
izliyoruz.
for
Şeyde
like that
CS
quote we
main
saw from Brolin
turnuvası.
before
Dünya
the game
Kupası
started,
diyebilir
where
miyiz bu
it feels
evente?
like this tournament is where all the success at the start of this year really matters, because qualifying to the major, even if you qualify directly to the elimination stage, is awesome, but it's your results here that are going to speak
Oğlum biz
louder
bu
than
kadar
anything
iyi
else that
miydik
you've
lan?
done.
Eternal Fire bu
Everything
kadar
else
iyi
is
miydi lan?
preparation, building confidence,
Helal olsun
showing
lan.
results, and they've laid that foundation.
Vay
Now
be.
it's just about executing and achieving
Abi bir de
something that
Türk
he never felt like he could
takımı Dünya
in his
Kupası'na
previous
gidiyor ve
lineups.
top dogları yeniyor falan. Vay be.
Let's take that mentality and apply it to Eternal Fire as well, right? We've been watching over the last 6 months this team grow in their success, grow in their confidence, and with it, the expectations of the community.
Mouse Almandı değil mi? Of!
Oh, nice double nade. Their nades are so good. I mean, we saw
Pokemon
the flash
gaming.
execution. I mean,
Süper.
it's not the
Birini
flash that's
döneceksiniz bir de,
difficult.
akıl mı
The difficult
alacaksınız?
part is corroborating that with their teammate who's running up the ramp and making sure it pops as you turn the corner. And that part is harder than it looks. Obviously, it's a matter of dry run and
O sırada
preparation.
valla
But
bildi yani.
when people are throwing counter utility at you,
Banyodan.
they're swinging on you, doing short pushes and things like that. That's when it becomes hard to execute versus teams at this caliber. And we have seen from Eternal Fire that they're looking like a great team because this
Geçen sene
composition
Paris
of
Major'unu
players looks
kazanan
good.
Vitality'yi
But
yendi.
obviously, their practice has been very sound as well because their executions and defaults have been very thorough.
This round with 0 ramp pressure as well, right? That had been the consistency from Mouz so far on this CT side. You give them ramp, they're going to go
Ayak
for the double
oyunları.
nades.
Oh my god, that's
Zanteres.
crazy.
Is so on point. He rounds that corner, gets himself the second. Feels like the door's open for the follow through, but with the smoke still up, they're going to hold for a second. They give themselves a little pocket to play behind. Desperate shots out of Yimfat don't find his mark. Smoking off short could keep Calyx out of the equation. And now we're getting down to the sketchy 25-second mark.
Oh, this is a crazy play. I mean, he could find a pickoff, but, you know, he's risking it right now because they're low numbers. Yeah, so he gives it a shot. And as cool as that smoke was, Xerxes playing on that side of it would definitely risk getting flanked if he takes shots.
okuyamadım.
He'll have to peel back from this, and that's a good show of composure here from Eternal Fire. How many times do we see teams get really nervous when shots come through a smoke, they get tagged, because we know how valuable that sound information is in CS2, and yet they're really good about not firing back, not taking every single battle, and just approaching. So this is an incredibly strong start, of course, for Eternal Fire, but Mouz started the day 6-1 down to Ecstatic, I think it was on Mirage.
Yes, sir.
And they came back, overpass, and they came back into it.
In fact, they came back into both of those halves.
Of the 0-1 of the 1-0 matchups, this is maybe the most even on the higher end of things. Like I would say, two of these two teams,
mesela
Fire
futbolda
proved so
hangi
much
takım
for the
Türk
first
takımı
stage.
ki?
Mouz proved so much by qualifying directly to elimination.
Bizim ama organizasyon
in
da
the
Türk.
process of that, defeating Spirit. Mouz is the
Oyuncular da
only
Türk değil mi abi?
team in 2024 who has defeated Spirit in a best of 3.
Yeah.
You know, they've lost maps elsewhere, barring, of course, the blast groups at the start of the year where Spirit had 2 stand-ins. Those don't count in my book.
Şu an
That's when
bizim
we
çocukların
when Mouz
secure'ladığı
beat
bir
Spirit,
price
we're like,
pool
man,
var mı?
Donk is just getting too old.
Yep.
You know, that's when we thought
Voxic
Time to
Mouse'dan
retire.
transfer
Yeah, I mean,
oldu.
it really felt like he was counting the days at that point, but he found the fountain of youth once again. He's still back. He's still
Kaç bin
here,
dolar
I guess.
secure'ladılar
Best way
şu
to
an?
put it.
Sweetie eyvallah, teşekkür ederim. 20k dolardan daha fazlasını hak ediyor bu çocuklar bu arada, bu aslanlar.
You know, I was quite surprised to see the amount of doubt that started to be thrown Eternal Fire's way after their struggle versus Heroic in the opening stage of the Major. Because Eternal Fire are a team that so many people were comfortable putting 3-0, having full faith in, progressing out. And yes, they had their hiccup against Heroic. One of those maps was still close.
Nasıl geldiler la?
They exchanged maps in the following sense, but if we were going, say, and putting hype on Eternal Fire and Saw to break through and get into top 16, it almost feels like, personally, Saw's shortcomings rubbed off on the doubters of Eternal Fire. Their next chance to move into top 16, they seized.
Ya.
They didn't waste any more time. There was just that massive streak of rounds they weren't able to win.
Ve damage yedi
Did
valla.
that explode on his head?
It looked like
waterfall smoked from his head.
Things do be
Çocuklar,
happening out here.
Malik.
That one M4 in the back of the site not finding anything to shoot at just yet because this weird smoke that
Çocuklar, ne
pops in
olur
the middle of
dikkat edin.
everything. Xerxes will pull a single player off the site.
I'm sorry, but I didn't even know that was a
Oğlum,
possible
boğdular la
interaction. Maybe it
site'ı.
hit the floor right after.
Maybe it hit his head and then on the
Kaçıyor,
box.
silahlı kahpe
Maybe
kaçıyor.
he's just got such a hard head.
Mikadya verecek mermiyi ağzına ya. Kaçmıyor la, savaşıyor la.
You have the replay. What the hell's going on?
Oğlum
Roland
eziyor.
floating here.
La.
Wakadia gets locked into the pistol fight. But Antares
Nice.
gives him the cover. So at the moment, we're talking about a 5-1 lead for Eternal
Zanteres.
Fire.
Hani
We're talking
yaşlanmıştı
about
lan bu
a
adam?
consistent A-ramp take that started well for Mouz but has been stuffed ever since.
Babalar eğlencede.
It's crazy. We got Eternal Fire
Bir
on a
dakika,
full
burada
Turkish
havaya uçmuyor
lineup,
musunuz
obviously.
abi?
They've been on a full Turkish lineup. This is just now them impressing
Niye
on their
niye
full Turkish
bunu
lineup. And then we
yaptınız
have
abi? Niye damaj yedik?
Big, who Antares used to play for. They're on a full German lineup right now as well. And I think if you guys saw it, there's the video posted by the Eternal Fire
kaçmadılar?
account on Twitter where they're having a watch party in maybe Istanbul, I would assume.
Ha şey mi,
1,000
görmek
people
için
there
mi?
cheering on this team.
Çözer falan diye mi?
Moses said I think there was actually 2 watch parties going on, another one in Ankara.
Zırh gitmiyor mu?
You know,
Wow.
2 big cities in Turkey
Yeah, that's-
and
Ha, ninja yapılmasın diye.
enough to fill out a couple theaters by the looks of things. Turkish passion runs deep. The pockets of Mouz finally refilled. We get the
Abi
M4s
milletin
out
anasına
and
bacısına saygı
Roland
sevgiyi bir tek
is
ben
gonna
yollarım
contest the
kardeşim.
ramp again.
Tabii tabii,
Antares
Watch
has been the
Party'den
bane of their
bahsetti lan.
existence.
See, the
Yok abi,
approach of
bizim
being so
böyle
much more careful on
mutluluklara
the ramp this time
ihtiyacımız var
around.
arkadaşlar, hiç
But they are
yermeyin.
still scaling.
Arkana
Kadia
bak, ne
comes through
olur.
it. The lineup
Yanına bak.
over Brolin made easy this time around. That's Woxic to the wayside. Wakadio with him.
Kullanıyorlar abi,
No W for
kullanıyorlar.
Eternal Fire this
Kullanıyorlar.
round.
This was a time where they needed the
Avrupa
flash,
lobisi abi.
but didn't have it. Another 5v3 situation here for Mouz. Best chance to claw back the CT
Mayer
half.
ya. Verir ya. Tecrübe ya. Eyvallah Deadlord.
Pressure on Yimfat again. The last time they tried to scale into B, they
Hadi.
rocked him. He just dives behind
Nice.
Green, but
Oh,
then
he ate the
comes
flash.
back and tries to fight it. Caught out in the open. Molotov's over the top. Zershin looking to put up some kind of a defense. There's two players here for the T's that are low, and Zershin's going to make sure he cleans
Hollandılar.
up a couple. A trio of
Hollandılar.
frags, a total stoppage, and finally Mao's second round.
I know he died right there, but I want to say
Oğlum,
that's
çok
a
kuruldum
play
lan elemanların
that makes me
tiplere.
appreciate Jimpat because he obviously eats the flash. That's the main reason he can't lock down the spray. But falling back to an angle in the open, that's still a good
Şanslılar
angle to
abi.
defend against that choke point. Gives Exertion more space to do this, right? If he had fallen back to Generator, then Exertion would have been in way more trouble of actually just getting hard cleared that entire time.
CT
But instead,
map'i
he
bu
gave his
arada
teammates space, decided to
%70
go
oranla
try to go
falan.
1-for-1 if possible. And as a B player, it can be tempting to
Eyvallah
play
yavrum,
retake, but how many
sizinleyiz,
times do we
beraberiz,
see
nasıl iyi
teams play
geçmez?
retake on almost any round on Vertigo
De
and simply
arkadaşlar
lose?
bura sanki yani
Again, this
bilmiyorum
time Brolin
izlediğim
opening
kadarıyla
up.
Eternal Fire'dan izledim ben de. T map'i gibi
You
ya da
best
bizim
Sam
çocuklar
Perez.
T'de iyi.
That is the key to the A site of Eternal Fire.
Ben
Left
yine
behind.
Eternal'dan izledim şeylerle. Salak bir takımla oynadılar ya, adını bile hatırlamıyorum. No name. Yenildik.
Mouz have shown their resilience in the opening best of one, and they're going to have to bank on it.
Well, this round is
Ben
basically over
izliyorum diye
actually because
yenilmezler değil mi abi?
his pockets were
Heroic,
jingling on the
heroic,
fallback. Plus, they don't see
heroic.
anybody after they take this risk. So, amazing timing here versus the A ramp, and we've seen that Eternal Fire are usually not faking. They've committed slowly versus the ramp, and they also haven't been watching their flanks.
What's the CT setup, though?
So they're going to clear out B. Oh my God, they think it's
They're
B.
stacking the wrong site.
Ay
That
hayır
volley comes
yanmayın
down in front of it.
çocuklar.
The rumblings on A. CT's now
Oh,
scrambling
they might have lost,
over.
they might have lost the
Hemen
timing right
etkiye
there.
tepki
Although,
yapmaları
because
çok iyi
Eternal Fire
abi.
take a
Molly
little
anında
time,
söndürüyorlar
At
falan.
least
Çok
Mouz
rahat.
do arrive before the hit comes out.
Vurmazlar ya
You
bizi.
think they're going to start watching their flanks now?
Beceremezler.
We'll see.
Aha abi
Never
PVS.
saw the barrel cross. Nade's
Konuşuyor,
gonna go for the
Voxic
jump up.
anlatıyor.
That's
Of.
easy damage versus Brolin. Then the Oppers exchange glances and
Ay.
nades, which does find a home for Major and Wakadia's health
Nice.
bars down to the half point. Molotov's going each way.
İyi sıkıştılar lan.
Exertion's going to start getting
Elemanlar iyi
activated 25
sıkıştı.
seconds.
Time is of the essence here.
Smoke'la-
Zershin starts to
Lurker
get
var.
that flank going. Great flashbang, but you didn't see him?
Smoke yok
Major
mu
just
abi?
tries to plant as the player's posted back sight, and then Zershin's flank comes out.
Hello?
Calyx on the recovery.
Dalik,
One kill
Dalik.
in 10 seconds, all he ends up getting. I can't believe that Major doesn't see him.
I would actually like to go back and look at the utility. They don't have wall smokes
Ya
on the
bu
site when they're trying
zevkine
to plant.
dövülür
I'm
bu
not
eleman
exactly
ya.
sure what
Şuna bak
happened there.
ya.
Well, Major,
Neyse ya.
the flash. Oh,
Ben
Major didn't see him
ağzımı
boost it up
bozmayacağım
after the
ha.
flash came in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
X
Diving a plant
ayrıyım.
not on default
Eyvallah,
with no wall
teşekkür ederim
smokes
yavrum, hoş
is
geldin.
Unless Major was also
Pretty
flashed,
crazy.
and because he's planting, then there's no animation. Could have been that as well.
Vuruldum oğlum ben karşıya.
See, I mean, that's bananas.
Bizim
Yeah,
çocuklar
yeah. I mean,
smoke'ları
that's open
molotof
to CT
söndürmek
as well. I
için
don't
mi
think they had a smoke down
harcadı ya?
that had bloomed yet. So
Hala çok iyi,
yeah, I don't
eyvallah.
think Mouz care though. They'll take it.
Take what you can get
Yeah.
on the recovery here versus now Pistols in round number 9.
Tamam.
Yeah, we see that
Echoes
round for
abi.
2 maybe.
Allah basılıyor.
And they only rotated in seconds before the pressure started to come out. Brolin will catch
Lan
Wacadia
Perez
towards ramp through smokes.
Yine
Brolin is making a
smoke'tan
name for
vurdu oğlum.
himself.
Var bir sıkıntı bak.
Easy versus lesser weapons.
Bilmeyenler, Bo 1
see the
izliyoruz,
formula
alan
is always
kazanıyor.
About a good default, disrespecting space, but then committing very heavily.
Lan
Not
bize nefes
too many lurks
aldırmıyorlar
here
şu
for
an.
Eternal Fire.
Oh!
Oh my God! We used to call him Turkish Nico, man. He's got that deagle. His aim is
Turkish
so ridiculous.
Nico
You gotta
mu?
be careful at all times.
You got a player locked into Tetris. Molotov to make sure the boost can't come back up. 50 seconds to try and milk this round.
Neyse yorum yok.
No, we've got no impact
Spikerin
grenades left over. Just smokes.
unutmayacağız abi ama. Sizi unuttuğumuzu
Eternal
zannetmeyin
Fire
yani.
looking for that flank. Doesn't come in. All Mouz wanted was the information.
Mayer ver
They
ağzına
haven't even played the
mermiyi.
game of trying to flank. There have been gaps where they could do it.
Oo hayırlı
So,
olsun yavrum.
something to
Kaldese bir
consider.
HO arkadaşlar, evleniyormuş.
Brolin making sure
Kesin
nobody's
yalan.
allowed anywhere close to the top of the ramp. Zershin's angle could certainly catch somebody off. Xantaras will be looking for the head back sight instead.
Vurdular
Actually,
zaten.
he's dropped by the in-game leader of Mouz. Clean up
Neyse
on the
Eko'ydu.
B steps from Zershin, and Mouz will convert off the back of the
Zaten-
previous round. This one goes down easy.
Yeah, they're
Arkadaşlar
definitely winning
zaten
as a team.
CT map'i değil
Good,
mi?
good setups to get the kills. They're getting high yield. It's high yield. These setups on the A ramp, opening kills have been definitely going the way of the CTs. Enough times to justify more. And that's been actually the real trouble for teams to figure out how to get A
Tamam o
ramp
zaman 5
control.
el yeter değil mi abi?
Because CS2 smokes are so fickle on Vertigo with how you can blow them up that can bite back at you. But we're actually seeing that this is working out more for the CT side
Ne anlatıyorsun lan?
with the HEs. And they're approaching in the
Bizim
same way as
koçumuz
CSGO.
mu?
You know, high-low setup on the
Fabre.
ramp, one player ready on short side, ready to peek, and then just timing when they blow up the nade instead of Eternal Fire using it to find a pick off on the crane peak with an op.
Fabre değil mi? Yanlış bilmiyorum. Adam
That is
bot
definitely
abi.
what unlocks Vertigo right now for the CTs, because you can't really just play retake on either side. I think that's the tough part. You've got to fight fire with fire on this map on CT side.
Net sitesi reklamı aga. Artık dünya böyle bir yer. Distopik dünya. Fallout
Major
New Vegas.
decides
Yakında
not to
nuke
follow
da atarlar.
through.
Fallout New Vegas'a döneriz abi.
This is a round that features less pressure for Mouz on A ramp because they went for that early double B setup, right? We see the op posted down the steps. And Eternal Fire is starting to move faster than they have in rounds prior.
Yeah,
And a full-blown exec here could really find them in a post plant with still
ne
a
kadar
lot of
güzel
tools to
biliyorlar
close
ya.
out, a lot of
Bomba
bodies
atılan
to
yerleri
still be standing.
Çok güzel biliyorlar.
It's a
Çok
pretty
hoşuma
apt
gidiyor.
call.
Bilmeyince
Of course, he
tabii.
moves over in time. But a dangerous game if they're going to start pressing out against this. Eternal Fire looking for
Oğlum
the execute.
Torts'un ağzına
And we would
verin
have heard
keleşi
Torsi
ya.
moving up.
They've
with
got the
this
wall
build.
smokes, and they're juggling right now between the players. Major taking his. So they have gotten to the top of ramp,
Ver
and they've
ağzına vermeyin.
stalled out here.
Santeres ver
Missed
ağzına
off shot.
vermeyin.
A warning sign of what's to come, but a constant activation on the flank as well perhaps could end up being pretty important. Woxic met by smoke and still without a kill. A little hesitation as the CTs stall in sight.
Oh,
Poland
hayır,
decides to go
hayır,
into the
sızdı,
smoke.
sızdı,
And we'll
sızdı
see what
çocuklar,
Torsi can
sızdı.
do here. He's pressured.
Sızıldı.
Poland comes out. There's a player
Sızıyor.
right behind. Wikadio could recover this.
Bizden de sızan
They
var.
lost track of him,
Bizden de
but
sızan
he
var.
is
Değil mi
all that
abi?
remains for Eternal Fire. So many players on the site. So many, in fact, that Mouz will hang on.
Yeah, there was a gap, but it was a matter of timing for Mouz to get back into position. They were playing jump up in that 5v5 with a rifle, and Eternal Fire almost couldn't believe that
Bir
they didn't take any
sıkıntı var
ramp
la.
fights.
Bir
And when they didn't
sıkıntı
see
var,
any
seziyorum
opponents,
abi.
I think they got a little scared.
Seziyorum
Because if they
yani.
had gotten down to a 3v3 or something
Bir
like that,
durum
they were
oldu
low
oğlum.
utility for the rest of the hit, then I think they would have felt more confident about coming in. But they really expected Mouz, who have shown that they're going for aggressive CT ramp control, to be there at some point and haven't found them. I think the game plan out
Bir
for
özgüven problemi
Major
mi oluyor şu an?
in not finding someone. They could have transposed into the site hit, so there was a timing and a good call in that. But it was also bad that when they didn't see that, they didn't have a second layer to the game plan. What's the reaction now that we've gotten more space than we thought we'd get?
Çağdaş
Need some more
hoş
conviction
geldin.
in the calls.
Gates, Spielberg, Diljev,
Make hay when the
Aydira.
sun shines.
Hoş geldiniz.
Earlier today, of course, we had the Eternal Fire versus Vitality game where the experts
Echo
were
is
praising the calls of Major versus Apex.
Bastı.
Now it's Shuhei at bat. Easy pickups for the
Çok iyi
rifles inside of the
kolladılar
B
ya,
site.
çok iyi kolladılar.
No entry allowed, and
Baba,
that has
nasıl
been the
konuşuyorlar
case
kendi
for the
aralarında.
majority of these B attempts.
Wet
Early
Guardian,
on, they got
Akbiskan.
through with the pistol.
Bu elden sonra bir yenileyim
That
bir
point
dakika. Bu
forward.
eli verdik
In
diyorum
fact,
abi.
Zertian locking this one down
Toxic vurdu bir şeyler ama
has been nabbed.
main
An
event
AK
daha
comes
hızlı
with it.
akıyor
His
olabilir
own AK
arkadaşlar.
comes
Bende
back
daha
to him.
geride olabilir. YouTube'un
What
verdiği
more can
canlı
you
bu
do
ama.
with this one? We've got layers in the site.
Düşür la. Matruşka eyvallah.
Infat decides enough's enough. Over the top he'll go. You are indeed looking at the very last CSGO MVP after the ESL Pro League and
Bulgari
Malta was
yabancı mı
locked
lan?
down and won by Mouz. A group of players who dreamed of one day
Lan bu
winning a
geri 54
CSGO event,
yabancı
and in
Türklere
their final
geliyor.
chance to do it, did.
There was so much poetry at the end of CSGO. Nico getting Cologne, Mouz winning that Pro League finally, Vitality winning in Paris, I getting his chip, and yeah, lots of storylines got locked up. Heroic winning a
Yiyin
tier 1
lan
lane.
bunu.
There was it's almost uncanny.
Fast one. Early damage is great. That is Shuhei fed to the Wolves.
And this is the game that Eternal Fire want, right? Mouz starving them a bit has worked out quite well.
Calyx having an excellent performance too.
Over the top milliyetçilik yaşayacaksın şöyle abi.
Tie game on the cards.
Modları çok
Pretty low
yormayın
utility
chat.
as well for
Modları
Mouz
çok
to just try
yormayın.
and close out with op shot hits, but it's a little late with
No,
Katie
don't
tracking him on the tarp.
No shame down to that. They were ready for his swing.
Aga 6-6 girek.
Into
Son
the
el.
3v5 will go.
I would say like Mouz really haven't had the reads this half, but when they finally get the information, they've been really good at the setups. Now it's the
Hep de
first
iyi
time you see
oynuyorlar. Hep de şey
kind of
aynı
a hard gamble
oynuyorlar.
here. It's blind and it's 5v3. It's the perfect time to try to do it. But let's see if it's red or black.
Hiç o köşede durmadılar
Also,
bu arada.
not too
Hep
characteristic
arkadan
of Eternal
tutuyorlar.
Fire throughout this T side to be going for fakes, but here in the final round of the half, they will do exactly that.
Abi adam tepede abi.
Santeras with the wall of smokes.
Hep buradan
amount of
tutuyorlar
times that
abi.
boost
Biri hep
has worked.
buraya çıkıyor.
They'll see nothing else.
Too many guns shooting back.
Yani 12
Alex
roundda
can be
anlayamadık
given
bunu. O da
a
ilginç
nice
oldu ama
long
neyse.
lurk. Bomb will be planted on the B site,
Kurduk la.
confirming Mouz's worst fears.
Halik
But
kurdu
interesting.
galiba.
Yeah, he's going to stick around a little bit, right? He didn't think that Santeras is on his own. Maybe because
Hileyi
of the
görüyor
two
musun nasıl
smokes.
kesiyor
And
smoke'tan?
sure enough,
Wow.
now they have equalized
kurmamış
this
bu
with
arada.
enough time to go for a bit of a desperate retake. There's two kits in the mix. Molotov, smoke, everything really that Mouz need, barring a bit of a lack of time.
İzliyorlar
But with
aga.
Katie's position, it seems like they
İzliyorlar
sensed him,
abi.
and they're going to come through now in the man advantage, falling forward. Woxic locked in against the wall.
Alın la bu
Brolin has
eli,
done
1v1.
so much, and all he has to do is try to close a clutch, but Major's going to tap him.
Yeah, nice one.
Beautiful from Eternal Fire, making the most of the 5v3 to tie this game right back up.
Oh, we've been blessed with a lot of great games, and this is another good start. Both teams showed brilliant
CS
plays here
32
in the
izliyoruz
first
abi.
half. Lots of good individual efforts, and no telling who's going
Ya
to be able to win
1.6'dan
this game.
sonra çıktı ya
Vertigo is
tekrar.
a known quantity between both of them. I can
3.2
only assume,
oldu.
Jim Pat watching the flank that intently in that situation is because they were well prepared for Vertigo. And of course, Cyclone, also the coach to get the call up from Mouz NXT. And now they've got Zipix, who is the assistant coach, who, of course, you would think Zipix, why would he be an
Ama
assistant to
6-6
anybody? But he
giriyor.
hasn't done any coaching. So I think it's a really good setup in terms of keeping Cyclone in his position and getting some
Adamlar
new
iyi setup
perspective,
yapıyordu la bu
of course,
arada
on how to
abi. Çok
become a
güzel arkadan
championship winning
tutuyorlardı
team.
bence.
Few know better
O
than
tepeye hep
Zipix.
çıktılar. Bizimkiler de o
You know,
tepeye
anytime
hiç
Shuhei has a
görmedi
chance
kuzen.
to praise Cyclone as his right-hand man and coach, he'll do it.
Şu maçı sunsana. Çok güzel sunardım ha o konuda. Bak kendime güveniyorum.
He's also stood in a few times and fragged
Eğlenceli
out.
sunardım bence
Ex-player,
ama
for those that don't know.
imkan vermiyorlar ki abi.
he has what
İmkan
it takes.
vermiyorlar.
Here we go into the second pistol. Eternal Fire picking up
Ama ben
their
çok
T-side
şahsi
pistol
yorum
win.
katardım ya.
Okadia
Sıkıntı
solo.
çıkardım
And
muhtemelen.
don't forget, Mouz recovering from what was a 1-5 deficit. Even despite Eternal Fire putting the cherry on top of the T-half with that last round
Yok
win.
canım,
Okadia
fullü sunmaz-
on Tetris with Berettas
Argo
and
sunardım
no
ama
support,
fullü
nor
sunmazdım.
ahead. Sertion right into him. And they'll find that all of this is for free. That deep Molotov on construction followed by a
Vurdularla.
smoke. Excellent utility usage for the few tools that they had for this job. And it'll be a matter of hanging on. We've got a flashbang for Calyx to try to get the retake going. We've got no kit, though, in the mix for Eternal Fire. So this flank, it's going to have to
Hadi
hit hard
çocuklar
and
be.
hit
Helal
fast.
Voxic'la
Woxic
görmedik.
kicks it
Helal
off.
la.
Zertian tries to push through, giving the Berettas back
Maraz
over to the
Gaming.
defense. Flash to get the green push going. Yimfat losing teammates, and it falls on Shuhei. 1v3, can't get out of
2v1,
dodge.
2v1, 2v1,
Stuck into the
2v1.
bomb
Çocuklar
site.
beraber oynayın çocuklar.
Fuse coming out from
Bekliyor
Calyx,
komutan.
has to be the 10-second stick, and Shuhei delivers two, a three-piece 1v3 like it's nothing.
Wow, it's a cherry on top to have that second kill come out at the exact same second. Nicely done from Shuhei.
Neyse
Definitely
arkadaşlar hiç
finessed
merak
him,
etmeyin.
trying to
Sakarya
pretend
Meydan
to jump over the
Muharebesi'nde
half
de
wall
Ankara'nın eteklerinde çok
and put
kritik
together
bir tepe
all
var.
important clutch in the
Atatürk diyor ki bu
situation
tepeyi
in a tight
tutacaksınız
score line.
birader.
This
İlk
could
günden o
definitely tip the
tepeyi
scale.
düşürüyoruz.
And you would have felt
Kara
bad for
bulutlarla
Mouz for
karanlık bir
losing that
gecede
round after
Yunanlılar
getting a
tepeyi
clean
alıyor.
entry plus a
Atatürk
duelist
diyor ki
upgrade into an
alacaksınız
open
geri bu
site and a
tepeyi
plant
kardeşim.
versus a team who had no
Alacaksınız
kit
ya da
on the
alacaksınız.
retake.
Alıyoruz
I would have
tepeyi
felt
sonra
bad,
da
but I also
indiriyoruz
would
abi.
have been maybe looking at
Bu da o
Zertian for
hikaye
pushing out through
oğlum.
that smoke with the
Bu da o
Berettas.
hikaye.
I don't know if they had a flash to get that aggressive with. And it's not like Major's flank had instantly worked out. Not
Yeah,
sure.
I agree. On low utility, they could have doubled up on stairs, for example, and held down the most important retake
Bunlar
spot.
Yunan değil. Bunlar
But you
Avrupa
never know
direkt
what the
işte.
call was. Someone was
Sıkıntı yok
flashing
baba.
for him.
Milliyetçilikle aşacağız
Not
her
gonna push blame
problemimizi
without
değil mi
a
abi?
top-down view of what the hell was just going on.
Sometimes it is fun, though, to just fire indiscriminately.
Of course. Shoot first, ask questions later.
Açlı bunlar, açlı. Zertion İsrailli mi?
3 MP9s featured in the buyback from Eternal Fire. Little stack
Heroic'te de vardı.
of grenades, a cache of utility.
Galiba.
And Xerxin, as he will be
Maya-
on the entry.
Ah
Sprays
be,
down Major
olamadı.
and gets into the
Ama
cover.
nasıl konuşuyor hemen baba.
They have just
Anlatıyor
whacked
arkadaşlar.
the beehive. They are soon to
çocuklar
find
ama
more
böyle.
CTs where the first one came from. Clearing him out with ease. Shuhei, it's a double kill off his Galil.
Neyse.
Joining up
Silahlılar
nicely,
abi, olur
Mouz
öyle.
will start to establish a lead early on.
And you can see Exertion is feeling himself right now, 14-5. And
14'e 5 oynuyor
I think someone
Xerxin.
who I squeezed in my top 20 list last year, in like 19th or 20th or something.
Neyse, biz de
And there
force
wasn't really a
atmışız.
stats argument for him because he has so many
Ya ben
deaths.
izleyince kaybetmeyin
But,
abi be.
for me,
Ha?
you know,
Yani şu
you
zevki
take the
ben
good
de
with
bir
the bad
tadayım la.
with Exertion because when he's having his on games, when they played against
Kaptan
Spirit, if you
Vitalya,
remember the
Aranel
Mirage
Leononde,
match, he's the one who
Venora,
killed Donk and
Rattlers,
Connector every round.
P90, Berk Doğan,
You can't really
Vetras,
do that
teşekkür
unless you've
ediyorum.
got
Kesinize
the kind of
bereket.
confidence that Exertion has.
Alt tab
And
tayfa yok
especially
hep
for
o
someone who
yüzden
has
mi?
no pedigree, right? No reason
tab
to even
tayfa.
believe in himself
Bu doğru mu
to
lan?
the same level as some of the players that they're going up against. Without him, this team loses a lot of their identity because they could only supplant, you know, the aggressive fragging to like Shuhei or Brolin, for example.
Değil
And,
abi.
Despite all the deaths that Exertion had, if he played slower,
Hile var bu
probably
arada
had better
karşıda. Onu
stats.
gördük bir
But
kere
I don't
de.
know if he had
Neyse.
better impact.
Bu elde gider. Mucize arıyoruz şu an.
And he has had moments where his individual level has dropped off. Didn't mean that he lost his identity at all.
Aha, bir planımız var
Gonna
la.
get the
Pişirmelerine
Berettas
izin
posted.
verin.
But held by none other than Xerxin. Little backside presence dealt with. MP9 will sweep one under the rug. And we'll see if Eternal... Ooh, if Fire can do anything at all. Little Glock burst in the middle of it. 9-6 posted out of Mouz, and this T-side starting to hit the flow state.
Oh, yeah. They're talking, they're having fun. They're coming off a win and looking to start the elimination stage 2-0 on the first day. Eternal Fire look for revenge here on Vertigo, probably knowing that it was coming up in this veto again.
Et
In a
yiyorlar.
timeout now to try to claw back a
Et
T-side.
yiyorlar. Dolar 32 değil bunların
But
memlekette.
that Shuhei pistol clutch,
Her gün siyasi
That was
gerginlik
big, yeah.
that
yaşamıyorlar.
makes a massive difference.
Ona
I
rağmen
mean, even the
kaktıra
near
kaktıra
retake in the
kazanıyorlar.
3v5 the round prior could have been a Mouz round, if not for the other in-game leader on screen now, who clutched back his 1vx.
Emirhan, Taka, Sisi,
But an
Sistiposo.
MR12, best of
Eyvallah
one.
yavrum.
Those
Teşekkürler.
close rounds mean all
Ya
that
şu
much
çocuk,
more.
çok kuruldum bu bebeğe.
No doubt that Shuhei 1v3 leaves their ears ringing. Eternal Fire give it a chance to get back on the board with the weapons.
Oh, geçilmez değil mi abi?
Torres going to go hunting.
Ana ne oldu la?
This shot. Wicadia playing a dangerous game there,
Massively, yeah.
but he also eats his teammate's flash, so now no held angle. Zantera is not looking too afraid of this pressure.
There's a call
Biraz
out.
sindirdiler
Double
la
nade to the top of
içimize.
ramp. Pat in the depths.
Major almost taking a peek over top of the wood wall.
Sana mı soracağız? Eyvallah
Could have
BGS.
very well cost him his head. Jimfat the crocodile down beneath.
I think a lot of the belief in yourself for Eternal Fire comes in this round. The thought of having to save again versus 10 rounds could be devastating. I think
Elemana
it's a
bak.
great play actually for Mouz to play it slow because even
Çekimler
if they
çok
shave
iyi
him
ya.
down, they could be at an advantage. Next round, win or loss. Draw out their utility, make it expensive.
Planları var lan. Hayır.
Give you some style points, but only if you had done it the first time, Torzi.
Biz hiç o yukarıdan tutmuyoruz ki.
2 seconds extra.
Voxy-
Still
Voxy
scouring
kaldı
sight.
izle.
Sees nothing. Good
Onun
peek from
yerine
Zantera.
ya.
Got announced.
Bismillah.
Wide swing out of his position.
He's a bit too quiet for me.
Nice,
Torzi's trying to creep on the approach. Xerxin has to end up going through smoke, but he changed places with Wicadia, so it ends up costing him teammates.
Kanka, biraz
On
hızlı
top
git,
of this,
biraz hızlı git.
Zantera's
Arkala.
headshot. There's Wicadia's challenge and finish.
11
Nicely done
mermisi
here from
vardı, az daha
Zantera's
yapamıyordu
and
bu arada.
Wicadia. Just timings, right? Those internal timings from Eternal Fire. that clicked as well as their headshots.
There are times for momentum calls, and I actually think Mouz called the correct round here. Again, just trying to make it as expensive as possible, but even in the situation where Mouz are looking for, where they shave down 3 players and make
Hadi lan
these
siz de
money tough,
enerji
even
yollayın
if
chat.
Eternal Fire win,
Bu iş böyle
they don't
çalışır.
get that, but they don't
Manifesting
even get
falan
the
aşkı
kills, and it's
amına
actually
koyayım
not
ya.
that expensive at all for Eternal Fire, so this is
Hadi
the best
abi.
possible win that they could be looking for. But they know there's still some money to chew through, and still a lead here for Mouz.
Evrenin makatına göndereceksin abi enerjiyi.
They've been looking for Xantiaras with these nades.
Bak şimdi alıyor kili. Alamaz.
Ready for
Kili
Woxic to have
alamaz
his big
çünkü adamlar
moment.
korktu.
Oh, Brolin wins that duel. And then Torzy gets the better of his counterpart. 5v3 for Mouz. You know, they'd gotten close to sight, but it was without kills previously. Calyx getting Jimmy back is big.
What's the move here?
Alec
This is a situation where you definitely keep 1B very often, or you go and search back information. If Mouz move fast enough, they can definitely take the A site. There is
Bilmiyorlar
utility
they
left on
don't
the
know.
CTs as they go back to check flanks. This buys them
Aa
time.
boş mu bilmiyorlar.
So we'll see if it's early or late, but it's still past a minute, and there's still staging here to be done on the A site as they molly out all the positions.
CT shelf peek, a possibility. Major looking to create
Adam biliyor
questions
abi.
for
Adam
Mouz.
biliyor
Nate goes a
baba.
little too far to
Adam
take more than
smoke'tan
30
delikten
off
atıyor,
Shuhei.
I don't even know if he's...
And that opens up the door for Mouz to go deep CT, right? Off Major's smoke, Zershin decides to
Zershin.
take the position
Hayır,
that he
Zershin.
himself has offered over.
Şu Yahudi'yi
And we'll see if
vuracak
this comes
vatan
back to
evladı yok
haunt
mu?
Eternal Fire.
Irkçılık
As suddenly
yapmıyorum bu
their
arada.
flank has also been cleared out. Zershin wins the fight towards Shelf, and this retake never had any legs to stand on.
Yeah, it
the only
didn't.
thing that kept
Adam
them close
Yahudi
was
ya.
Calyx's kill on B.
They're
abi?
sitting outside, like you said, their own smoke, right? And so
Bana
they're
öyle
in a
dendi
3v4, looking to get back into a site, low on time, low on numbers, and instead lose players in the exit after a round where they showed that they were keeping their economy
Şunu vur ya. Arıyor
in
bir de
mind,
kahpeye
winning all
bak.
their
Arıyor
trades.
ya. Öl. Lan öl ya. Ha.
And in this situation, they at least saved 1 gun, but it probably should have been 3. This is a great opportunity now for Mouz to take full advantage. They know the opportunity they've created for themselves. And this kill right here, that's huge.
Eternal Fire'ın var lan kazandığı maç. Bugün çok kilit bir maç kazanmışlar oğlum. İzleyemedim onu. CS'nin ses çok, senin ses az. Benim ses az değil la. Yalan ya. Bunu diyen. Değil mi abi? Yalan.
Keeping the money on the line, Eternal Fire. Giving Torzy a bit of pressure to deal with, but nobody walking into this scope. There's the challenge. There's the
Kadya
next
geldi şimdi. Allah,
volley.
yandı
Wakadia
güzel.
forced out.
Geliyor
Smoke goes
geliyor bak
in.
geliyor ne oldu?
He's locked into this position. T's flooding out towards him.
Helal.
Torzy playing with a pistol? Changing guns?
Well, he had the molly up, right?
Allah ellerini bağladı adamın bu arada.
there's
Son
a molly
anda
right in
eli
front of
ayağına
him.
girdi,
So
silahını
they
şey
were
yaptı,
trying to scale from the
karıştırdı.
ramp, but Xantiaras
Öyledir
had him
oğlum,
covered
inanç
too.
böyle bir şeydir.
Damn, talk about a pressured situation for Wakadia. Flushed out, burning. Still able to get in behind the pillar. And a wonderful 2K to try and put Eternal Fire right back into a place where they can compete. The response from Mouz is the beast
Ayar
split.
verecek ağzına.
Bum Molotov, CT challenge. Oh no! 3v5 coming back thanks to the double up in middle. Wakadia put this one set up so wonderfully. Woxic is going to have to pick up slack. He's got Jim Fat in front of him, but he's found good timing underneath the stairs. Jimmy, he ends up seeing him. And this
Arkadaşlar
is a
ben yorum
recovery from Mouz
yapmayacağım.
that
Bir
it
süre
felt
sadece
near
tadını
impossible.
çıkaracağım. Bir
That's a
şey
massive
denemek
shout out to Brolin
amaçlı.
and Shuhui came up into heaven. They covered
durum
everything.
benimle
No
alakalı
trades
bir
back
şey
for
mi? Onu
Eternal
anlayacağım.
Fire. Even if one trade fails, another one goes down, it's still a great situation for them. So that shows you what kind of fight that Mouz have right now.
Is that Mouz just staying fluid, being slightly ahead of the Eternal Fire rotations? I'm not even sure how they get over construction with that half smoke. Like, where was the mid play? Where was the pressure at all there?
What do you mean?
Just, it felt like there was never any pressure from Eternal Fire in mid whatsoever.
Well, they had the
Map'i
boost to
biz mi
watch heaven,
seçtik?
right? And then they also had a player behind generator. And then they have a rotator who comes through. So they smoked the rotator out, and they came up into heaven. So you see this back Jenny guy. Then they're
Orta.
covering this as well with their smoke. So
Ben bir
they
yorum
smoked both
yapmıyorum.
players and watch their smokes.
Eyvallah Burkay Doğu. Baba yorum yapmıyorum.
it's
Bir
going to be a
şey
tough pill
deneyeceğim.
to swallow.
3. timeout bu arada. Geliyorum abi ben de hemen. Tamam mı?
Yeah, they
Baba
can't get
kamerayı
lazy
da
if they-
kapatıyorum. Ben bir varlığımı buradan yok
if
ediyorum.
they
Durum
go for
benle ilgili mi?
rounds,
Bir
like
onu
3
test
before
edelim.
retake, they lose 2 players, and then they get a situation like this. They have a massive man advantage. They finally get their money back. They aren't going to be able to buy all the way through. Woxic now has an auto shotgun.
Safe to say, not ideal. No utility to go with it. Calyx only the Molotov, presumably for the bottom of B. Mouz have positioned themselves into the 4-round lead, 2 to close it. Torzy not given that chance.
Ben konuşmuyorum abi.
And that Woxic mid-hole is literally an auto-shotty boosted on boxes, just hoping somebody steps forward.
Oğlum kaçak yayın
Calyx, he did use
muhabbetini
the
amına
Molotov at
koyayım.
the
O
very start
kadar
of
da
the
değil
round,
ya.
so now he's just banking on an MP9 and the few nades that his teammates still have to work with. In fact, going to apply pressure. Nice and early here for Mouz. Knowing that if they can win this one, it feels like the CTs are busted.
Yorum yok. Yorum yok.
What?
Oh,
Okay.
Xantares has always been there. That was
Spiker'e
amazing
söveceğim
trade back,
ama
to be
birazdan.
honest.
Spiker'e
But,
söveceğim.
as we've seen already, they need much more than that.
No doubt. Smoke grenade from B site. Imfat. Third time's the charm. Fourth time's the charm.
Yeah,
Climbing over with the smoke up.
they don't know I'm here.
Second CT coming over by Green. And we're going to get this pack of Mouz players.
I'm slipping Jimmy.
Look at it slide through.
He got through.
Sure enough. I mean, you could hear the scrambling offense.
Yeah.
It's all good in the end.
And
Jim
he's,
Pat,
he's as light as a cat, baby.
yeah, shoots better than he jumps, I'll tell you that.
Nice boost, bro.
It's not-
Insane.
yeah, nice one, jump
Lan.
hat.
Yani. Adamlarda momentum var
There's some
abi.
weird
Bizimkiler
inconsistencies
düştü
with
ya.
jumping right now, so like I don't
Belki
know how
abi
much I want to grill him.
burada
was just
şimdi
trying to
el
pull the
alırız.
rotators
Güçlü bir
early.
el alırız.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
Like,
Güçlü
that's the
ele
only way you get
aldıktan
this
sonra
sequence.
da
That's
abi
true.
12-12'ye götürür oradan 16'ya
Like Nap
uzatırız
said,
abi.
you know, nobody makes mistakes. It's always on purpose. Damn.
I think Internal Fire will
İzle,
have
böyle
some
olacak.
regrets about the CT
Aldım,
side, but they
verdim,
also
böyle de
lost to
oldu.
the better team potentially. Like they can pull back
Bak
this game, but
agresifiz,
right now
güçlüyüz,
Mouz are,
önde duruyoruz.
you know, going toe to toe with them in some situations, but more X factor. I think they're playing more responsibly, and they have a good read on Eternal Fire here in the second half. Yeah, all their setups have been flushing out the right players. Nades landing in the good spots.
There's been a couple near misses with Mouz and Shuhei's calls, but
Galik şimdi bak
even when it
yapacak
felt
orada.
like there was going to be
Galik.
an issue, they act fast enough to
Güçlüyüz
recover
oğlum.
moments. So, Major off the
Aldık
next
verdik
flash.
öyle de
Wonderful.
oldu lan.
Calyx setting that one up beautifully with the flashbangs. Eternal Fire not done yet.
Ama gösterme abi.
Jim
Niye
Pat,
gösteriyorsun onu
neither
yani?
is he.
A
Second 3 versus 5 would be backbreaking.
There he
So
is, jumping Jimmy.
they're going to make sure to put him down. Katie,
Güçlü.
Don't knife him. You know what I mean? Don't knife him. Oh my god. I did think about it for a sec. That actually would have turned into an optal. I mean, knife
Bu
to
arada
eject,
bıçaklasa mental üstünlüğü alırdı ya. Keşke taksaydı. Neyse bir
think about
dahakine.
that.
And at that point, you have to commit.
You have to.
You have to.
You have to be honorable.
You have to.
Dudakları nasıl büzüyor la bu elemanı var ya. Sokakta görmeyeyim oğlum seni.
Torzy looking like he just saw a
Avra
ghost.
tu.
Turns around and there's a knife in
Tu.
front of him. Very solid utility and team play
Ya
off
bak
of
abi
the
adamların koçu geliyor.
Calyx slash
Adamların
Major
koçu geliyor
E-hold.
birader.
Yeah.
Masaj falan yapıyor.
You know, 'cause
Güler
Mouz
yüz
very fond of
gösteriyor.
getting out to the bottom of stairs early,
Et yiyor abi adamlar.
staring at the skies, and not to
Kamerayı
mention when they first
açabilir
got there,
miyim?
they saw those two
Arkadaşlar,
CTs falling
problem
back
ben
from the
değilim
stairs
galiba.
itself, right? They almost got clipped, I would say. So expecting this re-aggression, very tricky from Major and
Tamam
impressive
abi, bu-
calls.
Bu bir şey
Staying
arkadaşlar.
active.
Totem.
In a high
Totem
pressure
yaptık abi.
situation as your opponents have 5 map points.
All right.
Now down to just 4.
Yeah, it's 4. But they've got Walks gone and up, but they don't
Hadi
exactly have
çocuklar,
him
güçlü, yerli,
on form
milli.
right now. Much more
Aynen öyle
impact
abi.
coming the
Korkma,
way of
tara
Toqtir
tara,
in this
bir
matchup.
tane daha tara. Adam sızıyor
And
lan.
of course, Sershin. 20 and 10.
Oğlum duyuyorsun, tara orayı.
As Wakadia
Güçlü,
looks to get off to the
yerli,
races. Again,
milli.
he does it. A double kill from the same spot. Not his first.
That's the timing they've been looking for all half, actually, to pull that play off. And Wakadia has fought for it, going again behind the Molotov in that previous round. They definitely have a read on the way Mouz want to approach the ramp control, and it's doing pretty well for them. I mean, he's died a couple of times. The other times, Xanteris has got the kills.
This
Geliyor
ace
şimdi.
stack
Yerli,
looking
güçlü,
good as
milli.
well for Eternal
33.
Fire.
33 abi.
Fourth
Verdi
player
mermiyi.
leaning back towards elevator. Good
Bomba.
up shot, good
Oy.
nade as well. This is Eternal Fire.
Hayır,
With what feels like
Molis.
a layup.
Çık. Güçlü, yerli,
Couple rounds
milli.
left over. Xanteris forced to the fight. Happy
Çık, çık,
to
güçlü yerli, milli.
contribute. A little bit of recovery
Ah.
now. Yimfat on his own has gotten 2
Hello.
kills and a bit more damage, confirming 2 CTs to the left side. Torji not on the trusty off. Elevator
Kalik,
peak
Kalik,
about
ver
to come
ağzına.
in. And
Bu
that's
lan.
where this one gets
Bu.
cut down. This is Eternal Fire with an excellent
Bak bak bak,
back-to-back
Xanteres'in
response.
çeneye bak bak.
And this will be a real test of the
Karpuz
fight
kırar
of
amına
Eternal
koyayım
Fire
o.
to see if they can put one foot in
Ya
front
bu
of the
abi
other.
görmek
because I think this
istediğimiz-
is a game where clearly, like, I think the round score accurately describes who's made less mistakes. I mean, even if we go to the Shuhei 1v2, it's a 10-second stick, but once they know where Shuhei is, couldn't they still have swung him together to get the kill? In some of the defaults where they've got outgunned a little bit, I don't think this game
Çok
comes
güzel abi.
completely
Şu
down
an
game. I
şu an
think Eternal Fire
gerçekten
kept up in that regard.
yerli,
Maybe
milli
there
ve
is
güçlü
the,
bir şekilde oynuyoruz ya.
Torji difference. But
Hah,
Torji's been
silahları
set
yok.
up
Ver
very
ayarı.
well, where
Ver ayarı,
Roxy hasn't
karbon.
even been.
Kaç,
So
kaç,
there
kaç.
it is. Bit of a rare appearance, but never too late. Now, while the
Galip,
game is
Galip
still
dikkat et
live,
Galip.
so
Oyun var, sana
I
kurulan
think it
oyun
comes
var.
down to mentality.
And Eternal Fire's mentality has been strong in Copenhagen. They've been fighting tooth and nail.
And they've been through it. You know, there was the game. There was a series, I think one map on Vertigo, where they really showed that they were not themselves and the pressure was getting to them. But they bounced back from it.
Aa! Ne o?
Walksik missed shot.
Hile, kullanıyorlar.
Yimfat's opened the door towards B. To lose
Helal.
this one would
Ama
be
arkadaşlar,
rough.
arkadaşlar.
So, luckily they start to
Sızma
stop the
var.
bleeding.
Sızma var. Ne olur ayıkın.
Shuhei. Oh, whoa. Him and Xanteris.
Oh, he made noise though.
Yeah, but then he made noise the other way again. And then turned back. No way.
Xanteris sana oyun
falls for
kuruldu.
that.
Oyun
Shuhei
kuruldu.
just ran
Xanteris
back a
kalemini
second time.
kıracak.
Yeah.
Xanteris.
Kalemini kır.
Oh!
Helal be.
Yeah, that was a sweet play.
Down to a second.
It was a sweet play. It was a
Nice.
sweet play.
Yep, desperate times call for desperate measures.
That's quick thinking. He didn't
Shuhei-
see me, I can bait him.
Trying to flex that brain of his. Eternal Fire at the moment flexing the muscle because they are indeed clawing this
Ne
game back.
oldu? Neyse laf yapmıyorum. Laf
This is 3
yapmıyorum
rounds in a
abi.
row, 2 more to push us into OT.
Halik.
And some late game runway for Walks
Tem
to
açmam
try
abi.
and take
Totem
off.
ettik bir kere. Totem ettik abi bir
Saw him
kere.
drop 2 bodies last round.
Gönül verdik
as that
aga bir
pressure was
kere.
coming at him in the pistols on B. The rebuy for Mouz. And a force for whatever they can afford in the
Hadi abi,
follow-up. That's what they
yerli
have
milli
to try and
güçlü
close
geçti.
this game in regulation. And A-Site has been slightly problematic with those Wakadia short pushes. He's trade places with Sershin once and just got 2 straight-up 2Ks
Çok
on his
güzel abi.
aggressive peaks. That is
Agresif
3
tutuyoruz.
rounds that I feel Eternal Fire have won off the back of Wakadia's impact. Can they solve him?
Especially if they want to keep coming A. Because you technically don't have to take this fight if you don't want to. But Eternal Fire are growing with strength on
Güzel
both
lan.
sides a little bit more.
Karşının gerçi var bayağı
And it is
utility'si
very
ama
important
harcattık
to
epey. Bizde hala iyi
presence
utility var.
here.
If they hit B now,
Adamın 3 molisi var, bizim 4 molimizin var.
try
Çok
to
iyi.
clear out this ramp.
Kullandık. Bir moli kaldı.
And there's a
They've
little
done a good
uncertainty.
job. They've done a good
Adamlar
job. I think,
dönüyor
with
aga.
the smokes down
Adamlar
that
dönüyor.
flash.
Yep.
Bir oyun
It's,
kuruluyor
delaying the
çocuklar.
reclear on the ramp, so here's the
Çocuklar
lead
oyun
off.
kuruldu. Gör
Comes down
orayı.
to the
Sehem
entries
var.
now.
Major goes back to A and Calix eats a flashbang. Now they realize
Galik
this
dikkat,
commitment's
Galik.
coming into the B hit. And Calyx pressed against green.
Galik
Sees nobody
dikkat.
in sight just
Galik.
yet. Finally, Mouse players flood
Helal.
out. 30 seconds to make this work, and Woxic
Hayır ya.
delivers, but Toqtir
Sakin,
clears
sakin,
green,
sakin ol.
tucking into the corner.
Heyecan yapmayın,
As the
sikerim,
ball is
heyecan
looking
yapma.
to go down the
Helal.
middle lane. Denied. Zershin's gonna get nothing. Great recovery from Wicadia. Excellent impact out from Eternal Fire, but bomb down nonetheless, and on top of it, damage is done.
Heyecan
The
yapmayın
retake
abi.
to keep
Heyecan
this
yapmayın.
4-round
Alın burayı
streak
geri.
rolling. A clump of Eternal Fire
Nice.
players in from CT.
Abi
And
4'te
Zanteres
2
on
bak.
the off.
Hadi.
Then the spray from
Bravo.
Shuhei, not enough.
Wow.
And so 4 straight from the Turkish team.
Was that a lineup from Zanteres or a flick? The left side of quad, I thought that was a perfect way to play that 2v4.
Oğlum var ya.
Where you might get 1 or 2 kills and
Hani
cause an absolute tragedy.
yırtacağım
But
üstümü,
instead,
kurt olacağım lan
Mouse who
şimdi.
can't sustain in the post plant because the pickoffs keep coming in. So I would say a rare situation where being forced to play retake can still go your way if you play it calmly enough. You know, I think the back generator player not doing anything until Woxic takes his first shot is important. And
Helal
he actually
Woxic
ends
la.
up dying in this
Helal.
situation.
Vikadi'ye de helal.
But
Orada
it
Zanteres'i
comes with
kurtardı.
information
Zanteres
as they
sonra
try to
kritik
push forward
AWP kill aldı
and take
oğlum. Her
over
şey
more
birbiriyle
map control.
bağlantılı.
So this
Kelebek
comes down
etkisi
to round
gerçek ama.
24, folks. After a tied first half, Eternal Fire trying to claw back.
İyi, çok hiç utility yok neredeyse lan bize kıyasla. Hadi çocuklar ya. Bir moli var adamlarda
Have the
ya.
advantage of being able to collect some data. They know what doesn't work.
İki smoke var elemanlarda ya.
They've been
Utility'leri
doing
yok.
good
Ver
on the
mermiyi.
top front as well. Woxic in the same place at the same time.
With a flash first though before the shooting.
İşte bu ya.
Shot.
İşte bu. Kaç kaç kaç kaç kaç kaç kaç oradan kaç
Right to
oradan.
the chest. The chase is out. Zershin gets the second.
Sıkıntı yok.
There is this
Sıkıntı yok abi.
rotate back around CT, but are they going over the peak construction again? Jimpat wins his duel.
Oğlum.
That should open the door for the bomb to drop Zanteres in the pocket. But that mid lurk from Zershin,
He's not known. He's just going to be able to come in from behind.
you'd think. Shooting that
Abi
one
Vikadya,
bullet.
Vikadya,
Tor's
Vikadya
looking
gör
at his
kuzen,
teammate's
oyunu gör.
screen.
Oyunu
Has to
gör
stay
Vikadya.
focused as Wicadia comes
Vikadya!
around. Caught out, but still able to win that fight. Zershin then
Anladınız.
getting the CT spawn into the back pocket of Mouse.
Çocuk dikkat
4
et.
rounds in a row, and now Wicadia gonna have to get the 5th. Working with 19 HP, 2 Ts posted. Mouse will survive the test and move forward 2-0.
2-0, baby. Another 13-11 victory, and Mouse did great with, I think, being as good of a team as they needed to be, as well as having slightly better individuals overall. I think that game comes down to razor-thin margins because Eternal Fire did show a lot of strength.
Neyse ya. Neyse ya. Neyse.
On those fronts too, but
and it
Değmez
encapsulates
ya.
all of the qualities
Değmez
that we were
abi.
talking about when it comes to Zershin, right? It's being
Değmez.
daring. There is a Molotov. He knows Woxic is in front of
Neyse
the middle.
arkadaşlar,
He bunny jumps
eğlendik,
anyway. He closes
tecrübelendik.
that gap.
Şimdi
and after the
durum ne
second
oldu yani? Elenmedik. Şu an bir maç daha Şu an 1-1 mi olduk? 1 win 1 lose mu olduk? İki win lazım çıkmak için. Kaç maç oynayacağız daha? 2 maç daha var. İkisini de kazanmalıyız yani. Yok ya, 2 win daha lazım ki 3 olalım. Bizim şu an bir winimiz yok mu? İki maç var, 3 win yani ikisini de kazanmak zorundayız oynayacağımız. Ne zaman maçlar? Yarın mı? Yarın izleriz. Yarın 5'te ise garanti izleriz. Benim yayın var zaten. Ama ben izleyince problem oluyor abi. Ben bak şurada bir win şeyini yaşayamadım birader ya. Yarın kaçta abi? Bilen var mı yani schedule'ı? 23 kill aldı ya. 23 kill aldı ya. Schedule linki atacak baba yiğit var mı? Abi Akif MC, Garga, Sirulul, Emet Weasel, Roseby, Svolk, Nankuneja eyvallah yavrum. Muhammed Okmaçe canlar teşekkür ediyorum destekleriniz için. Link geldi abi. Hani la bebek? Daha belli değil mi? Daha belli değil la galiba. Daha belli değil. Yarın oynayacağımız kişi belli olacak. Yarın maç oynayacağız. Ha, belli olacak sonra oynayacağız. Bu yarının oğlum takvim. Neyse arkadaşlar. Sağlık olsun ya. Bir alkışlayalım çocukları. Çok iyi iyi. İyi abi. Sağlık olsun abi. Sağlık olsun abi. Sağlık olsun. Sağlık olsun. Ben izlerken de bir gün ama şey yapacağız değil mi abi? Hani win şeyini yaşayacağız yani. Win zevkini, win tutkusunu yaşayacağız abi. Bir gün onu tadacağız yani.